Captain Ryan waited inside the broken tower. Smoke filled the air. The walls were cracked. The sky above burned red. But he stayed quiet. The alien queen was still breathing beside him. Her body shook, and her skin had lost its glow. Outside, the enemy searched. Their voices were low, strange, and cold. Their steps echoed like metal against stone. These were not normal soldiers. These were Dravix hunters. They killed without feeling. They never stopped. Ryan had read about them in secret files, an old enemy Earth never fully understood. The Queen touched her wrist device again. The translator blinked and spoke in English. "They will not stop," she said weakly. "They smell fear. They smell power." Ryan checked his weapon. Almost empty. He looked at the Queen. "Why are they after you? Why you?" She tried to sit up. Ryan helped her. "My name is Kalira," she said. "I am the last ruler of the Nithari. My people were peaceful. We loved science, life, art. But peace is a weakness to the Dravix." She closed her eyes, remembering. "They came one day without warning. They said we must kneel, join their empire, give them our knowledge. I said no." Ryan nodded. "And so they destroyed your world. They killed half my people in one day," she whispered. "They took the rest. Now they want me. If I die, my planet dies with me. Forever." Ryan stayed silent for a moment, then asked, "Why send a signal to Earth?" Kalira looked at him. Her eyes glowed faintly again. "Because Earth is strong. And because Earth is next." Ryan felt cold. "Next. They already found you," she said. "Your home is not safe." The signal, it was not a call for help. It was a warning. Outside, something roared. Dust fell from the ceiling. "They're bombing the tower," Ryan said. "They're getting closer." Kalira tried to stand but fell. Ryan caught her. She looked at him with tired eyes. "You should leave me. Save yourself." But Ryan didn't move. He looked into her alien face and saw something that felt human. Pain, fear, courage. "I don't leave people behind," he said. "Not on Earth. Not here." He pulled out a small tool and scanned the area. The tower's back wall led to a dark tunnel underground. "We'll go through there," he said. "Stay close." They moved through the tunnel slowly. Kalira's steps were weak, but she pushed forward. Ryan walked ahead, scanning every corner. The tunnel led to an old Nithari outpost. The walls were covered in symbols. Lights blinked as they entered. Kalira smiled faintly. This was once a science base. Maybe some systems still work. She walked to a round console and placed her hand on it. The screen lit up. Ryan watched the alien letters shift into English. A communication system came online. "If I can boost the signal," she said, "I can send a warning to Earth." Ryan nodded. "Do it fast. They'll find us again soon." Kalira worked while Ryan stood guard. His hands were steady, but his mind was racing. Earth doesn't even know it's in danger, he thought. If she's telling the truth, then this isn't just about her. It's about all of us. Suddenly, an explosion shook the ground. The Dravix had found them. Ryan fired his last rounds as the wall cracked. Kalira shouted, "I need more time." Ryan grabbed a broken metal pipe and stood by the door. The Dravix soldier smashed through. Ryan swung hard. The enemy fell, but more were coming. Ryan looked at Kalira. "Finish it." The Queen pressed the final button. A beam of light shot up from the console into the sky. It was a signal. Strong, clear, heading straight to Earth. Kalira turned to Ryan. "It's done." Ryan smiled once. "Good." The wall exploded behind him. Dravix soldiers rushed in. Ryan pushed Kalira behind a console and stood tall. No bullets, no backup, just courage. He shouted to them, "You want her? You go through me first." One of the Dreviks laughed. "You are alone, human." Ryan stared at them. "That's enough." They charge. Ryan fought with hands, feet, broken metal, and fire. Arrow-shaped weapons hit him. Blood poured. His vision blurred, but he did not fall. He stood, wounded, tired, and angry, because he had made a promise. He would protect the queen, no matter the cost. But Ray was changing more and more. At night, when they stopped to rest, he would see visions. Not dreams, memories. But not his memories. He saw the queen's world as it used to be, full of light, tall cities, and singing trees. Then he saw it burning. The hunters had come from deep space. No one knew where. They wanted to erase the queen's race, not just kill them, but delete them from time. He saw something else too. A human ship. It had come long before the war. A first contact mission. And in the center of it, a man. A soldier. Someone who looked just like him. Ray sat up, sweating. Was that me? The queen looked at him, eyes glowing in the dark. She touched his head. He saw the same man again, but older, wiser. That man had saved the queen's people once before, but he had died doing it. Ray gasped. Am I him? The queen said nothing, but in his heart, Ray understood. He wasn't just chosen by accident. He had been part of this story before. Somehow, his soul, or his blood, was connected to her people. And now she had awakened something inside him. Something ancient. Something powerful. They moved again before dawn. But now Ray could feel more than danger. He could feel the queen's pain. Every time she walked too far, her body shook. She was getting weaker. She had given Ray too much of her power. She was dying slowly. No, Ray said. We're almost there. You have to hold on. She looked at him with soft eyes. In his mind, he heard her final message. If I fall, you must finish it. He clenched his fists. You're not falling. But behind them, the sky exploded. A ship dropped from orbit, hitting the ground with a shockwave. It was huge, black and silver, covered in red lights. It was not a hunter ship. This one was something new. Ray saw long legs unfolding from its sides, weapons glowing. It was scanning for him. For the queen. It was here to end everything. Ray grabbed the queen and ran toward the canyon ahead. But the ship released something. A hunter commander. Bigger than the rest. Taller than Ray. Its body was part metal, part living matter. Its face had no eyes. Just one red line across its head. And in its chest was a glowing orb, the same color as the power inside Ray. Ray stopped and put the queen down behind a rock. I'll stop him, he said. You go. But the queen shook her head. She held his hand. Her eyes were full of fear, not for herself, but for him. The hunter commander stepped closer. Ray walked forward slowly, every part of him ready. His body was burning again, but this time he let it. He welcomed the power. His hands began to glow. His skin shimmered like metal and light. The hunter spoke. Its voice was cold and deep. Give me the queen, or I will rip the power from your corpse. Ray smiled. Try. The ground shook as they charged at each other. The fight was fast, brutal. Ray hit harder than ever before. The hunter blocked with metal arms, firing blasts from its chest. Ray dodged, leaped, struck. The two slammed into rocks, into walls, into the earth. But Ray was getting stronger with every second. The more he fought, the more he learned how to use the power inside him. At last, he landed a blow straight to the hunter's chest. The orb cracked. Energy exploded out. The hunter screamed and fell back. But before it died, it said something strange. You are the key. You are the end. Then it went still. Ray stood there, breathing hard. The queen ran to him, weak but alive. He looked at her. What did it mean? But in her eyes, he saw fear. She knew something he didn't. Something big. And as they looked up, the sky opened again. More ships were coming. The sky was filled with ships. Not one, not two, dozens, hundreds. They blocked out the sun, turning the land into darkness. The ships were huge, more advanced than anything Ray had ever seen. They came down from the sky like a storm, their metal hulls shining with cold light. Ray could feel the air thick with danger. The Queen stood beside him, her face pale. She was getting weaker by the second. The power inside her had almost run out. She had given too much to him. But now it was his turn. The ships landed one by one, their metal legs thudding against the ground. They opened like flowers, revealing creatures, more of the hunter commanders. And then, something worse. A figure stepped out of the largest ship. It was tall, towering above Ray. Its body was made of metal and shadow. The helmet it wore was black with glowing red eyes. It looked like a king, like a god. But Ray could feel it wasn't human. Not at all. This was the leader. The one who had sent the hunters. The one who had been waiting for Ray to awaken. The figure spoke. Its voice was deep, like thunder. I am the Overlord. You, human, are the one we have been waiting for. You are the key to everything. Ray clenched his fists. He didn't care who this being was. He had come this far. He would fight until the end. But the Queen whispered in his mind, "You cannot defeat them. Not like this." "What do you mean?" Ray asked. "I've already defeated your hunters. I can stop you too." The Queen's voice was weak, but steady. "It's not the hunters you must defeat." Ray turned to her, confused. Then what? The Queen looked at the Overlord. In Ray's mind, she shared a memory. A long time ago, her people had been powerful. They had created worlds, built empires, but one day they had found something. Something old and dangerous. It was a weapon, a key to untold power. It could open doors to different worlds, to different times. A weapon that could change the very fabric of reality. The Queen had locked it away, hidden it, but the Overlord had found it. And now he wanted to use it. Ray felt his heart race. The Overlord had been after the Queen's people for this power, but now it made sense. He wasn't after the Queen anymore. He was after him. The Overlord stepped closer, his red eyes glowing brighter. "You think you have a choice, but you do not. The power inside you is mine. You are mine. And with you, we will rewrite the universe." Ray stepped back, shaking his head. "No, I will never let you control me." But the Overlord was already moving. He raised his hand, and Ray felt the ground shake beneath him. A pulse of dark energy shot toward him, pushing him back. It was like nothing he had ever felt before. Pure, raw power that reached into his mind, trying to take control. Ray fell to his knees, struggling. He could feel the Overlord's power crawling inside him, wrapping around his thoughts. It was cold. It was painful. "Ray," the Queen cried in his mind. "You are stronger than this. The power inside you is yours. Don't let him take it." Ray gritted his teeth. He could hear the Queen's voice, but it was fading. The Overlord's power was blocking her. It was hard to think, hard to focus. But then, something inside him snapped. He remembered the fight. He remembered how he had survived, how he had faced death, and kept going. He was no longer just a soldier. He was something more. "I will not be your puppet," Ray screamed. With that, he focused all his strength. He forced the Overlord's energy out of his mind, like a storm breaking apart. It hurt. It burned. But Ray kept pushing. The Overlord's eyes widened. Impossible. Ray stood up, his body glowing with power. The light inside him blazed brighter than ever before. He wasn't just using the Queen's power. He was controlling it. The Overlord raised his hand again, ready to strike. But Ray was faster. He leaped forward, punching the Overlord with everything he had. The blow sent the Overlord flying back, crashing into the ground with a mighty thud. But the Overlord wasn't done. He got up, his eyes glowing with fury. "You think you can stop me? I am the end of all things." Ray took a deep breath. He felt the power inside him, stronger than ever. He wasn't just fighting for himself anymore. He was fighting for the Queen, for her people, for everything that was at stake. Ray's body burned with energy as he charged at the Overlord. The ground cracked beneath him as he ran, faster than he had ever moved. He grabbed the Overlord's chest, ripped the dark orb from his body, and crushed it with his bare hands. The Overlord screamed as the orb shattered. His body started to fall apart, crumbling into nothingness. The dark energy around them began to fade. The ships above them shook, then slowly began to rise, vanishing into the sky. Ray collapsed to his knees, breathing heavily. His body was drained. The power was fading. But he had done it. He had won. Captain Ryan could hardly breathe. His body was covered in wounds. One of the Drevik's arrows had gone through his shoulder. Blood ran down his arm, but he was still standing. Around him, 3 Drevik soldiers lay on the ground, broken. The others backed away for a moment. They had never seen a human fight like this. Behind Rayan, Queen Kalira crawled toward the wall. She found a switch and slammed her hand on it. A hidden door opened behind them, an escape tunnel. "Rayan," she cried. He turned, grabbed her quickly, and jumped through the door just before another blast hit the room. Darkness swallowed them. The tunnel was cold and narrow. Rayan breathed heavily as he helped Kalira walk. His legs hurt. His back was burning. But he didn't stop. He couldn't stop. The Dreviks were behind them. "They're chasing us," Kalira whispered. "I know," he said. "Let them come." The tunnel twisted for miles. The walls were marked with old Nithari symbols. Broken lights flickered. Somewhere above them, the Dreviks were searching. Kalira held her wrist device close. "The signal reached Earth," she said. "They know now." Rayan nodded. "We just have to survive long enough for help to arrive." Hours passed. The tunnel ended at the base of a mountain. Outside, the sky had turned black. The sun was gone, hidden behind clouds of ash and smoke. They stepped into a rocky valley, filled with sharp stones and dry wind. "This is the Black Range," Kalira said. "No one comes here, not even the Dreviks, unless they're hunting." Rayan looked around. The rocks gave them cover, but the enemy would not stop. "We need shelter," he said. They found a small cave in the side of a hill. It was dry and deep. Rayan placed Kalira near the back and sat at the entrance. The wind howled outside. Strange sounds echoed in the dark. Kalira closed her eyes to rest. Rayan stayed awake, holding a broken weapon like a club. His shoulder throbbed. He had no more bandages, no food, no medicine, just pain and silence. But still, he didn't give up. In the night, he heard footsteps. Not many, just 2. Drevik scouts. Rayan waited in the dark. As the enemy stepped near the cave, he attacked without warning. He used rocks, fists, and the broken pipe. The fight was fast and deadly. Rayan won, but now he had more wounds. One arrow hit his leg. He dragged the bodies away from the cave, so no one would find it. Then he crawled back inside. Kalira woke and saw his bleeding leg. "You are dying," she said softly. Rayan smiled weakly. "Not yet." She looked at him with strange sadness. "Why do you fight for me? I am not your kind. I am not from your world." Rayan looked out at the dead valley. "You asked for help," he said. "No one came, so I did." Kalira closed her eyes again. "You are not like other humans." Rayan didn't answer. He just kept watch. The next day, the air changed. The ground shook. The Dreviks had found them again. Ships flew overhead. Scanners buzzed. Rayan saw lights moving across the rocks. He turned to Kalira. "We have to move." She nodded, weak but willing. They climbed the rocks, staying low. Rayan used all his training. He timed their moves between scanner suites. They crossed 2 hills, but a drone spotted them. Sirens screamed in the air. Rayan ran, dragging Kalira behind a tall rock. Energy blasts rained down. Dust and fire rose into the sky. A group of Dravik soldiers landed ahead. Rayan raised his pipe. "Stay behind me," he told Kalira. The enemy laughed. "Still standing, human." After all that, Rayan didn't speak. He moved fast, striking with fury. He hit one in the head, kicked another into the rocks. But there were too many. An arrow slammed into his side. He fell to one knee. Kalira screamed, "No." Rayan stood again. Blood ran from his mouth. He looked broken, but his eyes still burned with fire. "You think I'm done?" he growled. "I'm just getting started." Then something changed. The sky lit up. Blue lights appeared above them. Ships, human ships. Earth had answered the call. Missiles dropped from the sky. The Draviks scattered. Some tried to run, but it was too late. A human shuttle landed beside Rayan. Soldiers jumped out. One of them shouted, "Captain Rayan." He smiled, then collapsed. Kalira rushed to his side. "He saved me," she said. The human commander looked at Rayan, shocked. This man held off a Dravik squad, alone. Kalira nodded. "He didn't just save me. He saved Earth." As medics carried Rayan inside, he opened one eye and whispered, "Told you I'd buy time." Then he finally let himself sleep. The Dravik's base was nothing but ashes now. The mountain where it stood crumbled into the earth. The explosion had sent shockwaves across the planet. It was a symbol. One man, a handful of soldiers, and a broken alien queen had delivered a blow the Draviks would never forget. Rayan lay in a makeshift medical tent, his wounds wrapped in bandages. He was barely conscious, his body too weak to move, but his mind was sharp. Kalira sat by his side, her eyes watching him with a strange mixture of gratitude and sadness. "You did it," she whispered. "You gave us hope." Rayan gave her a tired smile. "Hope is something I've always believed in." Kalira nodded, but there was a deep worry in her eyes. "But they will come again. The Draviks will not forget this." "I know," Rayan said, his voice hoarse. "That's why Earth has to be ready. They can't just defend. They have to fight back. We have to hit them first, before they hit us." The next day, a fleet of human ships arrived, each one carrying the flag of Earth. Soldiers, warships, and scientists flooded the planet's surface, securing vital resources and setting up defenses. It was the beginning of a new chapter in human history, a history where Earth fought not just for survival, but for the future of the galaxy. Rayan was wheeled onto the command deck of a human warship. The general who had led Earth's forces was there, his face grim but hopeful. "We've begun the counterattack," the general said, turning to Rayan. "The Draviks may have powerful armies, but they never expected us to strike first. We've got the element of surprise on our side." Rayan nodded slowly, his body still aching. "Surprise isn't enough. The Draviks are a threat to every world. Earth can't fight this alone. We need alliances. We need help from every planet that's still free." Kalira stepped forward. "He's right. The Draviks will come for us all. They'll take what they want, and they'll destroy anyone who resists." The general turned to Kalira, his expression hardening. "We've sent a message to every planet in the system. It's time for the galaxy to stand together. No one survives the Draviks alone." The fleet mobilized. Earth's military worked alongside Kalira's Nithari, preparing for war. Rayan was part of the strategy meetings, his mind focused despite the pain. He wasn't just a soldier anymore. He was part of something bigger, a movement to push the Draviks back, to take the fight to their doorstep. Days passed. The countdown to the final battle grew shorter. As the human and Nithari fleets prepared to attack, Ryan and Kalira stood together on the observation deck of a warship, looking out at the stars. "You know," Ryan said, "I didn't think I'd make it this far." Kalira gave a quiet smile. "Most people don't. But you did." "We all did," Ryan replied. "You, me, the soldiers, the people back on Earth. We're all part of this now." Kalira looked at the distant stars. "If we win, what happens next?" Ryan glanced at her. "We rebuild. We create new alliances. We make sure the Draviks never get the chance to hurt anyone again." She looked back at him, her eyes shining with hope. "You're a true leader, Captain, even when it seemed impossible." Ryan shook his head. "I'm not a leader. I'm just a soldier who did what had to be done." Kalira reached out and put her hand on his arm. "That's why we won't forget what you did, what you gave us." The countdown ended. Earth's fleet entered Dravik space, breaking through the enemy defenses with incredible speed. The Draviks were caught off guard. Ryan's plan had worked. Human ships launched missiles, disabling key targets. The Dravik ships retaliated, but they weren't prepared for the power of a united front. The battle was fierce. Explosions filled the space around them. Ships collided. Energy blasts lit up the stars like fireworks. But Earth and its allies pressed on. They fought with everything they had. In the final moments of the battle, Ryan and Kalira led a strike on the Dravik's flagship, where the enemy commander stood. The ship was heavily guarded, but Ryan had one last plan. "We take it now," he said. The team stormed the flagship. Dravik soldiers fought back with everything they had, but they couldn't match the combined strength of Earth and Nithari forces. Ryan reached the bridge and confronted the Dravik's commander, who stood tall and defiant. "You cannot win," the commander hissed. "You are too weak." Ryan raised his weapon, his face cold. "I've heard that before." The fight was quick. Ryan and his team overwhelmed the commander's guards and defeated him. With the Dravik's leader gone, the rest of their forces crumbled. The queen walked up to him, her eyes filled with both sadness and gratitude. "You did it," she said softly. Ray looked up at her, feeling the weight of everything they had been through. "What now?" The queen's voice echoed in his mind. "Now, we rebuild. Together." And as the sky above them began to clear, Ray realized that this was not the end. It was only the beginning. As the dust settled and the sky cleared, Ray stood, feeling the weight of everything that had happened. The ships were gone. The Overlord was nothing but ashes in the wind. The land around them was quiet now, no longer filled with the hum of machines or the sound of battle. For the first time in what felt like forever, there was peace. The queen stood beside him, her eyes tired but still full of hope. The power inside her had nearly run out, but Ray knew she was strong. They had made it through the hardest part. But this was only the beginning. Ray took a deep breath and looked at the queen. "What happens now?" The queen stepped forward, her voice calm but filled with authority. "Now we rebuild. My people are not gone yet. They sleep, waiting. But I will awaken them. You have given them a future." Ray nodded, a feeling of deep satisfaction filling his chest. He had been just a soldier once, just a man who fought to survive. But now he was something more. He had protected an entire race. He had fought with the power of worlds inside him. And he had chosen not to control it, but to use it to protect those who needed it. "I didn't do this alone," Ray said. "I couldn't have." The queen gave him a faint smile. "You have always been more than you believed. You did not just protect me. You protected a future. And that future will be filled with life. Your life and the life of all who stand with us." Ray looked up at the sky, now clear of the dark ships. He could see stars again, bright and shining. He had faced darkness, not just from the enemy, but from within himself. But now there was light. There was hope. The queen placed her hand on his shoulder. "You are the bridge between worlds now, between my people and yours. The key has always been in you. I gave you the power to protect life. And you did. Ray smiled, feeling the power still inside him. It wasn't burning like before. It was quiet, calm. It was his now, but he knew it was more than just energy. It was a gift. And like any gift, it was meant to be used with care. You gave me the strength to fight. Now I fight for something else, Ray said, looking back at the Queen. We fight together. The Queen nodded, her eyes filled with understanding. Yes, together we will bring hope to the universe. Your world, my world, all worlds, they are connected. And now we will protect them all. Ray looked at the Queen one last time, then turned his gaze to the horizon. There was still much to be done, many worlds to protect. But he knew that the fight wasn't over. It had just begun. And as he stepped forward, the first rays of a new sun breaking through the clouds, Ray felt ready. Ready to protect, ready to rebuild, and ready to stand with the Queen, with his people, and with the universe. The end.